Let's go. And this is the Underground. World News Live. Good evening. Much love. Shout outs to everybody out there. Let's get the mic check in real quick. We should be live on YouTube, on D Live. Looks like we're coming through on both sides. And thank you for the feedback, the 5x5s, everybody. Kenny, Robin, E. Fitz, Mark, Prodigy, Flip. Good to see everybody. Everybody over there on D Live as well. I'll be watching the YouTube chat, but just trying something a little different tonight. I hadn't been able to get into D Live for some time because of some issues and finally was able to get in there. So we're going to try it out tonight as the backup. Again, thank you for all that, all the feedback there. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. Hit that like button if you would. The email is dabu7@yahoo.com. If you got any articles, any stories, links that you want to get to me throughout the stream, you can also at me in the chat. Lights it up in red. Thank you, Skeeby. Thank you, Steely, for those super chats right at the gate. I appreciate that more than you guys know. Yeah, we got a lot to go over here. If everything holds up at the end of the stream over there on D Live, I'll do the usual with the chest and all that good stuff. Um, Much love to all the mods over there holding it down. And that's another reason I chose D Live tonight, because I knew I already had mods lined up versus Rumble and other places. So, um, again, thank you to all that share the stream. You get it out in front of eyes that I cannot reach. That's fighting the fight. It's appreciated to the fullest. And we're going to get this thing going with news that I'm sure most of you heard today already. But Chuck Norris has passed away, a legend in acting and in fighting and all that stuff. 86. So he got in a full life, died in Hawaii. And he was just on a video like 10 days ago, punching and just, doing a workout, saying he felt young again. So I don't, nobody lives forever, but he got a good life in, right? Legendary status there. Of course, whenever anyone passes away, it's sad. But 86, like I said, he got it in, got in a full life. And I'm sure some of you know movies this guy was in way more than I know. Here's some right here: Missing in Action 3, Hero and Terror, Delta Force 2, The Hitman, Top Dog, The Cutter, Invasion USA. Wow, it goes on and on. A Force of One, The Octagon, The President's Man, Eye for an Eye, Sidekicks, to name a few. So the backstory says it comes one day here after TMZ sources told entertainment news outlets that a medical emergency occurred within the last 24 hours on the island which he was staying in Hawaii. At the time, the nature of the emergency was not disclosed, but TMZ was told Norris was in good spirits. So it must have went downhill from there rather quickly. Heavy hearts out there, I'm sure, for people that were fans, but these days, someone's dying every day. I mean, I've lost so many people in my life. That's crazy, man. But on to the next one. We're going to move into some space news here. This time, it has to do with NASA. They're saying that they may shrink Boeing's moon mission role and hand the whole thing over to Elon Musk. He made a ridiculous tweet earlier about, I don't know, people, and it just seemed kind of stupid coming out of his mouth, because he's basically saying that he's the richest man in the world. He could technically back people that would rise against the evil out there, or at least go and arrest them and do something, you know what I'm saying? But like, no one to do that. We got all these billionaires, no righteous men, bunch of devils. But had to call him out on it again. Most people are over there nut hugging him and sucking up to him and commenting on every single post he makes, just trying to kiss up to him, which is sickening and disgusting. And when I just start blocking those people when I see them, because I'll never want you around me. It's pathetic. I don't go over pandering on no site to get credit. That's hoe, man. That's just, that ain't how I do. Some cats out here have integrity and roll with it. Other cats, I guess, have none. And I don't know. Elon, whole nother subject matter. Not going to waste a lot of time on him. I will go to the next one, which is pretty important here for the folks in Hawaii. You've got a dam facing imminent failure. Thousands told to leave now. Pretty too bad right there. If you are in Hawaii, I'm sure you know about this. flooding already out of control. So if this dam um, fails completely, major flooding. So they say that Hawaii has been inundated with rain from a pair of heavy storm systems known as Kona lows, which have dumped between 8 and 12 inches of rain in certain areas. So, wow. Yeah, imagine having to deal with that. So, that's why everything was in imminent danger of flooding because there was so much copious amounts of rain being dumped. Weather warfare, if you ask me, we're seeing more and more of it, and it's getting bad. I put out an alert yesterday and it was saying stay indoors for people from coast to coast. Again, this happened a month or so ago, but all the particulates in the atmosphere spiking big time. It has an increase of these lung penetrating toxins that are out there floating around. They can cause all types of problems, and it comes from all types of different issues and things. But when it starts to accumulate, they can get a read on this, and it's really high. Some areas have big red bubbles around them. Now, what's going to make this even worse is we have this what looks to be a highly engineered heat dome that you usually see in like June or July coming through in March. So we just got hit with, wallop after wallop of snow and freezing rain. And now I was seeing it over on X here in my neck of the woods, Eastern KY, the Appalachian Mountains. We've literally seen 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and they were projecting a 90 for this Sunday, whether we hit it or not, but still, it's pretty crazy. In the weather changing every day, that's a huge spectrum, within a few weeks, 2, 3 weeks time. So now this heat dome's going to come in. Again, that's probably what's going to hit here on Sunday. I'm supposing, but it is raising high bacteria levels, especially on the beaches. And if it's already doing this, can you imagine what it's going to be like from here on? As things really heat up into the summer? I mean, it's I don't think it's going to be good. So this heat wave prompts health warnings at those beaches, and again, there's been just a widespread heads up for effects with breathing. Like you're gonna have difficulty breathing if you have asthma, if you're out in this stuff. So just a heads up, man. Some people are gonna get caught off guard by so much heat so quick, but some people will enjoy it. Nonetheless, let's jump into Wall Street, which was absolutely obliterated again today. One now. A five. I see a 5x5 floating around out there. Um, so I'm definitely not. I'm using a different mic. It's probably not going to work. And I'm just waiting to make sure people can hear me here fully. All right. So, um, mm. So yeah, I'm back. Just I don't think that good says your good sound is you're saying good sound. 3x3 animal style. Somebody says 5x5 ish. Okay, so what this means is like it sounds different than it did. Somebody says they can't hear again. Uh, Microphone sounds okay. 5x5s, 5x5s. It works. All right, thank you, Ava. So I restreamed this again. I want everybody to know what does 3x3 mean? Like, I don't have much toleration for trolls tonight, so somebody wants to talk crap like a dude that said rookie earlier, and I see you again, you're smoked. I said, just go ahead and talk shit if you want. If you want to get blocked, I'm just waiting. Anyhow, restream. Did this again. This is all restream. Wall Street. Why do you keep asking Wall Street? I said restream. Restream. Unless you're just reading off the front. I guess you're just reading it. I'm hoping everybody can hear me. All right, 5x5s. I'm gonna try one more time. Try one more time to reset this to the regular mic. All right. So this is how it's gonna have to be. Was good. I'm sure it just it failed. This is audio as well. Yeah, it was good. It was good for a second. Restream keeps kicking it out. The same restream that ruined the stream last time. See in the chats behind. So now everyone's like no sound again. 0x5. But I did it pretty quick. So all of a sudden the 5x5s are popping up pretty quick. Okay. Yeah, so I've got my headphones still on and talking to my freaking Yeti, which is the one I always use, and I can hear myself through it. But I'm sure you guys are hearing me through the computer mic. Okay, so it's good enough. I guess we're gonna run with it, right? So anyone has any complaints, I don't know what to tell you until I reset everything, and it better be fixed by this next time. I swear to you. There's 2 streams in a row that we've had to deal with this. All right, hold on 1 second. Kimmy, 2785. I'm gonna take 1 quick second here. You please tell me who's disrespecting in my channel. Who's saying anything? You just say their name right now. I'm itching to hammer somebody. All right, so just talk shit so I can get you blasted out of here real quick. Just go ahead and do it. I know you're out there, punk. I know you are. You know who you are. I know you're listening. Okay? Thank you, Secret Government 2012. um, all right. So I am going. It does sound a little different. Well, I don't know what to say. Besides, if you don't like it, you can leave for the stream, and I'll try to fix it on the next one, or deal with it. It's one of the two. But I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it going for all my cats that want the stream. So I'm gonna pick back up where I left off, where I was saying at least the stream didn't drop out, right? Wall Street obliterated from the Iran war, and I'm going to come back to this whole thing when I get to the war stuff. You're going to see. Habanero, much love. Everybody out there, much love. Thank you for all the feedback. Appreciate it to the fullest. Hopefully we're good from here. And thank you all for having my back. All right, the bond markets are beginning to panic over inflation. And you're going to see here, Murphy says the dollar's starting to sink. Now, this is going to be interesting because I don't know. I'm going to do a test. I've got to do this real quick just to see. I'm going to hit mute on my mic. I don't know how else I'm going to do this. You don't have to play it. I'm hoping this doesn't have feedback off my computer mic is what I'm getting at when I'm getting ready to play this audio, because I don't have a pause button on my computer for my mic anywhere. It's just I got one on my mic, but not on my computer. So, original Blindside, much love. Gonna play this. All right. Can you hear me? 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 Prodigy of Light says, all good, brother? Can you hear me? Yes? Yes? All right. All right. At least somebody was responding back. Yes. All right. Here we go then.
If you were advising the government, if all of a sudden tomorrow the long end, had trouble clearing an auction and the bond term premium went up, 100, 200 basis points. Bob, why don't we start with you? What would you advise Trump if all of a sudden term premiums started blowing up?
Okay, so let me say on the preface of this that, yeah, this is an area where if you had 15 years ago told me this is what the fiscal position is going to be, do you think like there would be this massive premium? At some point I would have said, oh yeah, that's surely when debt to GDP hits this amount or whatever. So I am surprised at how much leeway investors are giving the U.S. federal government. So okay. I will say that I'm surprised that they haven't put it more. Having said all that, though, I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening that used to be like, for example, in the 80s, I remember I was young at the time, but I was getting into all these policy debates and the idea that, if we don't reform entitlements at some point, they're going to be paying more to, retirees than workers are paying into the system. And this was this long, like, yeah, we better get our act together before that. Well, that's been the case for several years at this point. Now they're talking about when the so-called trust fund, is going to dry up. So there's a lot of things like that used to be inconceivable. I also think like the stuff going on with the Russia and the measures that the U.S. government took. I think there's lots of countries around the world that are saying we need to reduce our exposure to the U.S. dollar, and they're just trying to figure out how do we do that. And I think the rise of stable coins and stuff like that is going to make that a lot easier, the next several years. That once people are taking stable coins and not using, quote, real money, it's easy just to pull on down menu and say, instead of having a stable coin tied to the dollar, you can have it to be gold or a basket of currencies or whatever. That's much easier than it used to be, I think.
Video sounds poppy. Funny how some people, the guys that are always in here tell me it's good, and people like I just don't even recognize say that it's not working, right? We'll jump to precious metals. There is a sale on precious metals right now. This is a pullback that you're going to want to hit. You're not going to want to miss this one. Yeah, of course, the market's rigged. They're lone lion. Very heavily. Much love, Crown Jewels, sliding in. All right, thank you, O-Frog. Hammer away, Jay. Hammer away, man. Load the clip up. Hoodie Ross, back him up, man. You guys get hammers, use them, man. Gold, 4,500. That's a pretty steep pullback, and that's a good pullback in a war setting. So, and thank you, everybody, for all the feedback. I really do appreciate it. Again, much love to my D Live cats over there. I'm glad we're holding down the stream at this point. Just got to be thankful for what we got, right? 4,500 gold. Let's look at silver. Do you see that? 68.62. Oh yeah. There we go. If you weren't thinking about pulling the trigger in the 70 range, well, I hope you are. Anyone that waited, I mean, this is the go signal for me. You get into the 60 range, this is for sure where you want to start accumulating. Last time I hit 65, it didn't last long. We didn't stay down here, but I told you, if it plays out like charts normally do, it's got to pull back. And, you know, for anyone out there that's in this game, like, let me put to you like this. If silver fell back down to $20 right now, would I be freaking out? Because first off, I would not even be thinking about what I'm sitting on. Nowhere in my mind am I thinking, oh, what I'm sitting on, this lost value. It just went down, now it's $20. That's not what how I'm thinking. That's a panicker. Panicking. Like, you'd be pulling out loans when it hits this level. Like, buying the dip if you're smart. You see? Other people get all freaked out and like, oh, I just lost all this and lost all that. It's like, no. You need to fix your energy, and you need to see the opportunity at hand. I'm telling you, I don't think you're ever going to see $20 silver again, but consider yourself lucky if you see 40s. For real. And the only reason I mention that is because it blew through so many levels that I could see it even dropping down from here into the 50s, which we haven't seen yet. And if it does that, that's buy all day. It's a buy all day. Down there, snatch you up ounce or two here and there. And stick with the plan, man. Charts and assets go up and down all the time. You cannot be someone with weak hands, can't hold. I will say though, we were just at 120 and we're like half that now. That's how wild these swings are. I'm really speculating that when this reset happens, this is going to run hard. I'd like to see what is in Fort Knox, wouldn't you? It seems to me there should be some kind of law or something that holds them accountable to where they have to show us every year, like physical proof, and not be a guessing game. There's no accountability in this country. And, oh man, I feel like I always just talk in circles around here because like we can talk about these things, but like nobody ever wants to do anything about it. I'm willing to go out and do something about it. I've got up my ass and went out into the streets many times to do stuff. So any new person out there like, well, what are you going to do about it? I've done plenty. What have you done? Besides show up and talk shit. Huh? I've met very few people from online, keyboard warriors, out in the streets, out in DC, out at the senator's offices where it counts. So, for the people that are ready to make a move, it doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to be anything you fear. It can be peaceful. That's the problem I got with it. We can't even get that going. I don't know. We'll see this summer. I'd say if I don't see something come about this summer, You throw in a towel. I mean, I'm always open for something to happen, but like, it's pretty sad when people from other countries that like I just met. I'm not even gonna name any names. So from other countries I just met, working on some other projects, just flat out say like the people aren't going to rise. There's going to be no revolution, but thank you for what you do. And it's just like, well, thank you for whatever, but for being real. But it sucks. It's depressing. But other people see it too. They see that no one's doing anything. So I'd love to run some kind of protest or rally, but again, it's like you go to do it and like nobody shows up. Like everyone's chicken shit. I don't know, man. All I know is I came here in this life ready to ride and do something. And like there's just nobody doing anything. It's pathetic. So I've got to switch gears up. I got to start looking for ancient artifacts or something because I was here to ride for the revolution and like nobody else is. So, yeah, it's pathetic to be honest with you because I'm still chomping at the bit ready to do something. Broke. Yeah, we need financial backing. All the good guys do. That's probably never going to change. But what can change is good people saying enough's enough. I'm sick of pedos running everything. I really wonder how many people are going to go before the Most High God and be like, yeah, I just sat there with my mouth shut while known pedos that rape children were running our country. I did nothing to help round them up, prosecute them, do nothing. Did nothing but sit there and watch. See, I'm not going to be in that boat. Because I'm airing it out, going all out, doing everything I can to rally the troops. And everyone, even the Most High, can see that. So, I'll just say it again. Someone's watching all this. Just don't forget it. You're foolish to think somebody built all this and just disappeared. Gold. I want to go over why it's so important here real quick because it has properties that no other element can match. There's a reason why it's used and utilized. So, at first glance, when you look at the periodic table, I guess it would seem kind of out of place to use an element, but not a metal, so to speak. It ends up working good. Some of them would never work. You got gaseous elements that fail right away because they're gases. Hydrogen, helium, oxygen, nitrogen, all those. You could never use those for money, right? Like elements that react too easily out there. Like rust on iron, copper, tarnishing, things like that. There's radioactive properties here. You got radioactive elements out there that fail for many different reasons. They're dangerous. And then you got elements that are too common, and then you got elements that are too rare. So gold, silver kind of fall into a category here. And salutes, Reggie. And BT. Thank you for the super chat. This is why they are utilized the way they are over other metals. But people could put up the argument, well, then why gold over silver? And why gold over platinum? And I always take it back to the Anunnaki. The story of the Anunnaki, they created humans, created life to mine for gold. Because it was said it would help fix the atmosphere of their home planet. That's how the story goes. Interesting that fallen entities that come to this planet wanted gold. I don't think they went far. I think they're still hiding in the shadows. I think they still want gold. Which is why every single government on the planet is hoarding it. Because the big dogs, so to speak, the higher intelligence wants it. And that's from the beginning of record. I mean, like, from that story. At this, I think it's interesting, don't you think? It's wonder where it all goes. Wouldn't be surprised if there was nothing in Fort Knox. Now, I will give you this over there, Crown Jewels, my cat's in the UK. At least they will show us your vaults. They'll do little walks through it, do interviews. You'll see all the shelves with the gold bars. Now, granted, they could be all fake. It could all be AI. But at least you're showing us something, And I've seen clips here just this week from out of the London vaults. But nothing out of Fort Knox. And good luck getting anything out of Trump or any of them on this. It's never going to happen. It's going to be distraction after distraction after distraction, because that's the only way that I feel they think that they're going to wipe away the Epstein thing, which is never going to go away. It's never going to go away. I mean, as soon as everything simmers down the slightest bit, it's going to pop back up, and I don't care how much they hate it. They can't stop it. I love the fact that they hate it. They're going to keep pouring it on. And we're going to keep talking the truth. It's what we do. They lie, we tell the truth. Okay? They're pushing a plan for when robots take over this whole thing and replace you and me and everyone else, every human here, that the fix for it is universal basic income. And I've told you before, this don't work. We've cited a study here, a study there, and just the facts that it don't work. Okay? Well, here is 122 different pilots that ran UBI, and it come out the same way in the end every time. That this isn't good for us at all. In terms of workflow, for the people, all of it. It degrades everything. And I don't know what else to say. Like, when all this proof is here that universal basic income does not work, how can you even put it out there? It used to be that if you were going to put something out there, you had to put some proof out with it. You had to put something out there that showed that it worked, because people wanted to know. People are so dumb and docile today, they just put out whatever they want. People don't say nothing. They don't counter nothing. They don't do nothing. Largely, that is why we're screwed. You know that, right? I know you know that. This is why we're screwed. Nobody will stand up and do anything. It's the Barbarian. Much love. I'm going to walk us up into this one of these first big stories right here. It starts right here. All of a sudden, when nobody wants an EV, the demand just surged. How ever could people all of a sudden just want EVs when it's shown to suck and not work? How? The whole staged Strait of Hormuz. Look, if you're not one that pays attention to the war stuff or the economic stuff or this and that, you need to pay attention to this, because this is going to rock everyone's world. And when you watch it and you see it for what it is, you can see that this is a staged event. This is actually benefiting the West, even Russia, as I'm going to show you in the end. All of this. It's crazy. But this is benefiting the agenda of EV full scale, even though they tried to act like they were against it. Now, who does this benefit? Also, Elon, anyone that's in it, because he didn't give up all of his EV, dreams. So all of a sudden, this massive ploy to choke off the Straits of Hormuz is raising gas prices back up to, you ain't seen them like this since Biden, right? When them stickers were out, I did that, right? This time it's Trump. But Trump keeps saying, you're just going to have to deal with it. Like a little pain at the pump. short-term pain for long-term gain is the crap that they're putting out there. Let me tell you something, you bitch. You come running your fucking mouth, dude. You're gone. I've helped meetups. Where you been? We hold conferences. Where you been? We've been in the streets. Where you been? You ain't never been nowhere, but in the chat right now, running your mouth, and now you're gone. We hold meetups. Where you been? Run your cocksucker. To me, son, gone. Look, if you mods don't want to get them, I'm gonna get them. Like, look, I mean, so as I was saying, before someone tried to rudely interrupt me, and gas is high. I'm sure Skibi, I'm sure it is $3.99. Other places are higher than that right now. And diesel gonna go even higher, you know. Oh, that's Indianapolis. All right, thanks for the check-in. For real. Gives me in if anyone else out there wants to drop whatever they're paying. I know habanero. Let me know. Let me know in the comments like what you guys are paying at the pump. I know it's gonna be like in pounds or whatever in the UK or whatever, but gasoline can be weaponized, and I believe it is. You're gonna see this right here. You're gonna see this. What? I ain't gotta ask. Geo and SoCal paying $6.30. Wow. $3.39 Minnesota. We'll just give some shout outs here as people are chiming in. Oh, it's all good, Susie. Watcher. Melanie, thank you. Tucson unlimited. I think. Whoa! What did I just see there? All right, 167 a liter. Okay, you guys are going by liters, not gallons. Okay. I don't know where that was at though. Nashville 450. It's the middle of the country, out in the Midwest. Nashville 450 premium. All right, around $4. A lot of people were in that area. It looks like 3 to 4 range, right? Mid 3. I'm gonna say 3.25, maybe average. Take out California. This messes it all up. 555 California. 399 Albuquerque. 559 small town North California. 369 Long Island. 379 Michigan. 440 Nevada. So you can see out west they're paying more when the refineries and you get the whole coast there. Like California's screwing it all up so bad. You should never be paying that. You should be paying the least amount out there. Or lower than that, in my opinion. $4 Florida. Thank you, everybody, for the feedback. Lets everybody know where we sit, right? It's pretty bad. It's not helping anybody. But when this happens, I guess it is helping somebody. It's helping the EV industry, right? I can feel the energy. I can feel your butthurt energy out there still listening. Pissed. I can just feel it. So, do you remember the 70s? I don't because I wasn't around. But in the 70s, they say that there was a couple things that happened that changed the way that this country works. And I want to point it out here because they're saying that it's happening again. History doesn't always have to repeat, but it rhymes. And in this instance, they're looking back like there's similarities here. Because what happened is they took our money off the gold standard, right? And they wrecked the place. And something else happened in that time frame, they say. They say after they did all this in the 70s with these waves and took us off the gold standard, 2 household incomes were what became common to maintain living standards. So like before this, it was traditional, guy go out, get the job, woman kind of stay home with the kids, this and that. You wouldn't need two incomes, right? Unless, a woman wanted to or something like that. You could even, whatever you want to do. But now it's like no choice. It's like you got both parents, in some cases, not only working overtime, if they can't get working 2 jobs, multiple jobs, just to get by. And whoa, that was weird. You guys, that was great, way crazy on YouTube. Just dropped down like 400 and some people, and then back up to 8. I'm so sick of the effery. Ads in, love, man. Yeah, big love, all my cats out there. Much love. I know it's taken some whole families to survive and get by right now. Everybody having to hustle, work, do whatever they got to do. It is what it is. It's not going to get any easier from here. And it's like, can't be ashamed of certain things. Like, because I know some people are like, oh man, I had to move back into mom's, this and that. Well, sometimes that happens, especially when it's a setup. Main thing is that everyone is trying to stay smart, stay active, sticking together. And it's only going to get worse. They're taking jobs left and right, giving them the AI. So this brings me to the crackdown. This is what's going to affect us all. You see energy lockdowns right there? Well, this is COVID 2.0 for sure right here, and this is it. And how does it all happen? How is any of what I'm about to tell you happen? Because of the war in the Straits of Hormuz. Big time. Let me pull up my page here. Let me show you a couple very important things here. I'm going to have to end up coming back to this several different times throughout the stream to touch on a few things. But here it is. This is, and much love, Cato. And I've got the site here we're going to look at. It begins. Energy lockdowns. Okay? Now, no one's freaking out in your town about this yet because it hasn't hit your town yet. But the plan is it's about to. And it's going to be rolled out as infrastructure starts to get rocked. Okay? Iran is just putting guns on everybody. And they're going to continue to hit. They're not backing down. They're not going to quit. I'm telling you, this is staged. This whole thing is playing this way to get an outcome and an effect to their advantage. So look at this. And a lot of this is going to sound familiar because we went through lockdowns, right? And they did this. Work from home where possible. Okay? It says displaces oil use from commuting, particularly where jobs are suitable for remote work. Okay? Reduce highway speed limits by at least 10 kilometers an hour. So you're going to see lower speed limits out there. There's going to be rules, kind of like you may see rules on the highway for the HOV lane around a city, meaning the HOV lane is like always on the left, and sometimes they'll put a median, like a brick concrete thing up, and they'll be able to go faster or whatever in the HOV lane, but like you've got to have like multiple people in the car with you. You got to, or something like that. There's like rules to the whole game, right? It's going to be kind of like that. Remember, they just rolled out the flock system, the camera system. I seen one today on the highway. It's sickening because they're watching you and tracking your every move, and it's against your rights. But you don't even have no politicians or senators out there to stand up for you. Anyway, but they're doing this in all the major cities. The flock system is like real time. It's capturing people. It's catching people in crimes left and right because they don't even realize it's up until it's too late. And the news isn't making too big of a deal about it. It's been talked about, but they're not like blasting it out there. They don't want people to be looking on the side of the road and realizing they're being tracked. They just want people to shut their mouth and keep on pushing and keep getting tracked. Okay, so number 3 says encourage public transport. So the same thing before. They're going to want you to get on the buses and the trains, where they can knife you to death and all that. Nobody cares. They want alternative private car access to roads in large cities on different days. Dude. They're going to shut down roadways in all this because of this. It's just like before. Like, you weren't allowed to get on the highway to go to work unless you had your essential papers. You see, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to have essential papers. You're going to have to show that you're essential. Same thing. And there's going to be checkpoints up and all this. Just like with lockdowns, there were checkpoints at borders. From going into Alabama, from Alabama into Florida, there was a freaking checkpoint. Okay, at the state lines, dude. Like, do people forget? Because I don't. This is tyrannical, and it's going to come back. What's crazy is, like, what God showed me was the real deal in terms of a deadly thing being released. Like 50% kill rate or better, like a real deadly one. That's going to rock everything. That's what I've been preparing for. But this pops up. It's almost as like another beta here for lockdowns. And to control you. And just using a different avenue, right? A different weapon. Weaponizing the energy. Right? All part of Agenda 2030. Exactly. Increase car sharing. That's going to be huge. Efficient driving for road commercial vehicles. Divert LP use from transport. Avoid air travel where alternative options exist. Have you guys seen the lines at the freaking airports that I tweeted out over here on X? Insane. What's going on? I would hate to be flying right now. Just like it looks like people are waiting to get into, the stadium to watch a game or something. Like, it's insane, and it's all by design. And let me remind you, our government has defunded DHS through all this. We're sitting ducks. Department of Homeland Security defunded at this critical time while we're at war. You don't think something's about to happen? Oh, it's about to happen. Where possible, switch to other modern cooking solutions. So they're going to try, and look what this is doing. This is pulling people away from liquid propane. This is a God-given resource like coal, man. That's in all these mountains out here. And they're attacking it and trying to cut it off. And they're encouraging people use electric cooking or like a fire or something over LPG, liquid propane. Or any propane. Anybody wants to go out and use your grill, all right, that's over. All the people that are cooking on grills, they're going to finish that. Dude, this is nuts, man. So this is how the lockdowns go. With power. And I know some people are not going to be able to wrap their head around this until it hits them. Like over the summer, watch what happens. Brownouts, blackouts, rolling. And I've said this before, even people that like got suckered into these ploys by the government to get solar panels put on, but they're connected to the grid through the government. The government puts you in the dark, just like everybody else. And that's got to feel pretty messed up. To be sitting in the dark knowing that you got solar panels on your house. You ain't got no one to blame but yourself at this point for trusting a tyrannical government. And if that's how it is where you live, well, then you must like it. You must like it. Because you can get up and you can leave. Real men have to make that decision for their family, for a future. Real men do. Real man, my forefathers said somebody had to make that decision to cross that fucking ocean. Real man, for the future of the bloodline, make a change. You know, that's what happens. Someone's got to do it here, or else you leave your whole bloodline to get erased. And that's what's going to happen to a lot because people don't rise to do nothing. Look, this is something that I feel, as big as it is right here, it's not going to stick. Like, people aren't going to get the alert. Again, wait till it gets pressed upon them. Wait till it's your electric company telling you this and telling you that. And then everyone comes screaming and crying. And I'm like, look, we told you. But what are you going to do? You're going to fall victim, or you're going to go off grid finally? And not play their game, dude. Not let them control you. So that's to everybody that did. Because you're really not sweating it. Because you took it into your own hands. You were depending on the system. Yeah, that's what they've done. They've got us all dependent on the system, right? That's why you had to break free of it. You got to find a way to make it out the game. You can't, you knew this day was going to come, right? Energy lockdowns, this and that. You got a smart meter on your house. Of course, the day was going to come. Not only is that thing going to track and trace you, and they're going to bill you, but it's also making you sick and all these other things. Like, dude, a lot of people out there just talk crap. Others do it, live it. They can't control you when you're off grid. They can't shut your lights off at that point. So we say, oh, they come up there and they could drone strike you. Let them. Let me be the first person. That some people just look for an excuse all the time, man. Look, you have got to come up with a plan for energy from here on out, in my opinion. You have to. Even if you're grid connected, you have to have some kind of backup. You have to have something to mitigate the damage, and the system will pay for itself rather quickly. The technology's there. The country's getting so broke down, though, that in 5 years, I don't know if this whole universal basic income thing comes back up. It's all going to deflect back to that. Like, what do you do then? What does the government do when you're on a set amount of money, and that money, set amount that they give you, isn't enough to survive? Who's to blame? When they're all living like kings and have been this entire time in their mansions, their $1 million in their bank account, all of them, all the senators, congressmen, politicians, all of them live like that. Not you and I. I'm sick of it. I'm ready to ride. If anybody else ever is out there, holler. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Because I've been ready to ride. I'm not afraid to die. It shouldn't come to that. But, like, again, as I said before, I'll let them kill me out there if that's what it takes. But it doesn't matter. No, at this point, people just show up for entertainment. And they're only going to make a move when they have to. Let me tell you something. When you have to ration electricity, you're just going to live that way. You're going to take it. You're going to take everything this government gives you unless you get smart. You sit down at the table with the family, you're like, look, we got to do something. We have to skip vacation this year, and we're going to have to put it toward power, because if not, we're going to be sitting in the freaking dark. And yeah, it sucks, but you have to man up. You have to do it. You have to do something. Or not, and end up being a victim, being controlled all the way to the end. You sit here and listen to all this information, all these years, and you didn't do nothing. That just blows me away. I don't even want to meet you if you're like that. If you're someone that listened to all these years and you've done nothing, I don't even want to ever meet you. Yeah. Yep. Look at this. All these places, man, it makes me think the really good mom and pop burger joints that get some home cooking that have gone down the tubes. We got one right here, Byron's out of Chicago, well known, really famous, bankruptcy, again gone. All these legendary places, man, they've been around a long time, gone. And look at this, Jeff Bezos. He's plotting a $100 billion fund to transform all kinds of companies, not just his, but all kinds, and replace you and me. He wants to transform all companies using AI. And if you're not hip to what's going on here, the biggest thing with AI for companies is saving money. And Bezos is basically coming in like he's the wizard. He's like, look, I can save you all a ton in the end. You know, you spend a little bit of money up front, it's going to be worth this in the end. So, I mean, dude, 100 billion. These guys aren't messing around. Project Prometheus, valued at roughly 30 billion in its initial round, has been kicked out here. It's an AI startup that he founded with an initial 6.2 billion in funding. Look, these guys are all beyond millionaires. They're playing with billions at this point, like it's nothing. Anthony, good evening. Much love, everyone out there. Well, I was trying to understand that, Paul. Let's go to. Well, let me get an update here real quick. Top of the hour, checking in. Much love, everybody out there. Get a refresh real quick on some things. Oh wow. Sayo, thank you for the coffees. Luis, as always, thank you for the coffees, the love. Much love, God bless. And Gina, thank you for the coffees. That says that this battle that we're facing can only be fought on our knees. Staying prayed up in Christ is the only way to fight against the enemy. Please do more spiritual shows or even just show short vids. You know, I'm down for that. I'm down for doing that. But I'm going to tell you this much. I appreciate all that. I'm a warrior, dude. My God that I believe in, Jesus, did not say sit down. He said, sell your cloak and buy a sword. He's not coming back to sing Kumbaya. He's coming back with the sword for war. All right, and I'm a warrior in that sense, okay? And at some point, you have to stand up and fight. You can't cower all the time. You can't. That's why we're in this position. I look over at my feet and everyone's like, watch and pray, watch and pray. It's like, no, stand up and fight. That's why nothing ever happens. Yes, pray like you say. And yes, it is a spiritual battle. Let me tell you, when the tank comes knocking on your door and you're just going to get on your knees and pray to God that they're not going to blow you away, because that's not how it works. You would die. Your family would be eliminated. Your bloodline will be erased. Okay? And thank you, Luis. Now, if you're fine with that, by all means, just drop to your knees and pray. But I'm going to drop to my knees and pray, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight, is what I'm going to do. Because they ain't going to run me over like that. I ain't going to lay down like that. You understand? I'll die fighting. Okay? And let me just put to you like this. There's a reason that I guess God had me watch this earlier so I could relay this message. And hopefully spark someone out there. This is the sword of truth. It's nothing but the truth. Genghis Khan, his grandson. You know who Genghis Khan was? He was one of the cruelest, wickedest rulers to ever walk this planet. The Mongols. They could not read, they could not write, but they could systematically go in and kill and wipe out every town they rolled up on. And they did. There was a king
The Caliph. He was the last of an 800-year bloodline that ruled in Baghdad, Iraq. The Caliph had 4 daughters, 3 sons, and they thought no one would touch them. They heard of the hordes of the Mongols, and they ignored it. And they thought to themselves, and thank you someone for the coffees, they thought to themselves, no one can touch us. Our dynasty is superior. They had a great hall of records in Baghdad at this time. This was in February. The Mongols sent a letter. And it starts with the H. Hulagu. I think his name is Hulagu or something like that. The leader, Genghis Khan's grandson. He says, submit, and I'll spare you. And that's it. They laughed it off like it had never happened. It had never happened, right? So here they come. The Mongols come. They tear down the walls. They tear down the city. They make it to the palace. They kick in the door. They're in there with the Caliph. They capture him. They seize him. He's in shock. And do you know the one phrase that this guy said to the king? He said, where is your God now? And they made him eat the gold. And he lived. He was still alive. They brought in his daughters, raped, killed her right in front of him. Brought in his 3 sons, walked up to them, said the same thing. Where's your God now? Wrapped them in blankets to where they could barely breathe. Put them on the floor in the palace in front of everyone, and had horsemen ride over top them back and forth again and again. The accounts of the horrificness was horrifying. So he brings in his last 3 daughters. He gives the 2 eldest to his generals. And the youngest is just a little girl. And he takes her and he looks at her and he says, you are the last of your bloodline. And he takes her as a trophy. Changes her name. And it takes her, and she lives to be some 80 years old and recounts all this later. But it comes down to the king. They wrap the king up in a blanket, in a rug again, just like he did the sons, because they had a belief that you can't spill royal blood onto the ground. So they killed the sons without a single drop of blood being spilled onto the ground. And they did the king pretty much the same way. They rolled him up, and they built like a little deck right on top of it, right over top of him, like touching him. And they put a table, and they had a feast on top of it. And as everyone sat down and more food got brought out, and every hit of the table of laughter, this guy's body crushed and crumbled under the weight of all of them. So when they were done, they rolled him out, dead, purple. They said, where is your God now? So you can realize there's wickedness here that's going to come and kill you at some point, and you can stand and you can defend, or you can just lay down and you can die. I'm not laying down and dying, okay? And I just want to make that clear. You could die any day. I could drop dead tomorrow. Got stuff going on with me. I could drop dead tonight. You need to live to the fullest. Something tells me that you get out there and ride. You don't live scared like a bitch. You do it. You live now in the moment. Time flies by. And you do the right thing because something higher is watching. I tell you this all the time. But some people don't want to hear it, so they leave. That's fine. Let them go on not doing anything. I don't care. I'm here only, before I start every stream, I always say, dear Lord God, let me gather your people. Fight this mission. Get the stream in. Do it. Gather your people. You know what? And get the message out. That's what it's all about. It's just only partially about news, man. The other part is spiritual. It is a spiritual battle. So, Gina, again, back to your point. You're right. You know, we wrestle not against spiritual or against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. That is the true battle. But I wish you all luck, is I guess all I can say. It's become very evident and clear to me that more people will cower and not do anything than fight. So I suggest you all pray. Yeah. Because this place isn't going to be saved. Every other civilization put up at least a fight for the bloodline, for the people. No one asks for it. No one ever asks for it. But someone has to step up and ride. Or not. You go down in the history books as being, that's why I do what I do. Like, you ain't gonna look back and say I didn't do anything. I fight to the fullest, and if people wanted to take the streets, I did it. And I may already be gone. Oh well. At least I did something then, right? Just went out and tried. Instead of sitting there doing nothing. It's the most pathetic thing. But like, they ain't gonna shoot and kill me if I got in the streets by myself. They're just gonna laugh at me. Where's your people, Dabu? Where they all at? What do I say? Where's the Patriots, America? This isn't even just about us, this small little tribe. It's all of America. It's more than just us. I feel like we put up more in the fight than most. I tell you that much, and care more than most. And are censored more than most. And you know it. That's why most of you are here. True remnant. True remnant. From here, I think we're going to be hunted. Purebloods. Again, everyone proud of that, and rightfully so, but just wait till the real deal, the deadly one comes, and who's going to be screaming pure blood then? No one will be, because it will make you a target. You will not say pure blood anywhere. They'll be on you, like flies on, and you know it. And that time, it'd be different. It'd be a real deadly virus. So to say pure blood means that you're potentially lethal. They will be hunting purebloods. So I salute all of you. This place is horrendous, man. Like, they killed and tortured Jesus. They killed and tortured every single disciple he had. Hung Peter upside down. Boiled John to death. Another one, they rode through the streets till he died. Like, there is no quick and easy death, man. Like, all the legends died like, well, I don't know. Getting your head blown off, I guess, could be quick and easy, right? We'll have to ask JFK when we get on the other side how quick and easy it was for him. I mean, R.I.P. You know. Right now, it's a different time. It's a different time. You remember back in these times where we could call each other pure bloods before the real event happened. Anyone that survives to all this, man, like, I don't know how you're going to do it or where you're going to be. 20 years from now. If any one of you can hear my voice is alive in 20 years. Any one of you. Any one of you. I'll be right there in spirit with you, man. But I'm afraid there's not much I can do until judgment. I'm not cycling back in if I have it my way. I suggest you don't either, unless you haven't learned your lessons. This is to learn lessons. This life was to master this world. This is all temptation, can't you see? You're tempted with sex, drugs, alcohol, smokes, food, evil, sin, all day. For a reason. To see if you can master it. But they never taught you that. They don't want you to get out of here. But if you master these things, you can, by your works, you can show the life that you live, that you deserve to go somewhere better. Because you could handle overcoming the urge for alcohol. You could overcome and handle the pressure strong on you to want to smoke that cigarette, have sex with that person. You can master and control it, even if it's right there for you for the taking. Many fail and fail again. Many don't even know what this life's about. At some point, it becomes rather obvious that a higher intelligence built this for a reason, and I refuse to believe it's for nothing. And I'm more inclined to think that it's just as I tell you, a test. So, you don't go looking for trouble. You don't go looking to hurt anyone, But karma's real, right? Who remembers what game? Robotron 2084. I don't remember that one. But I'm going to jump to the next segment here. Pretty important one. All right, so, excuse me. Let me say that, and thank you, Prodigy, and Kenzo, DJ, everyone out there, Lone Line, and again, thank you everyone for the coffees. I don't want you to think I was trying to come off hard on you, Gina, earlier. Also, you just opened up a thought in me that had to be released. But yeah, much love to you, and you're nothing but right. It is a spiritual war, and that's what this is all about, right? I just don't think everybody gets it. My whole point of that is that's why I use Genghis Khan. It's like when the beast comes kicking down your door, gunsplit that moment. Not that you have to go out here and do stupid things. But let me go to this one. This is, you guys remember, I'm sure, in your memory bank, you have your own memory of where you were sitting. You can't do this with every day in your life. But I'm sure most of you remember where you were sitting on 9/11. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? A lot of memories, did a lot of things in life. A lot of memories that are gone, that are not even in your memory bank to recall. It'd be nice if you had them. But because you couldn't remember where you were at on February 22nd, 1997. None of you, right, could just instantly recall like that. So I'll give it a caveat, maybe one, but I doubt that. But everybody seems to know where they were at on 9/11. They know what they were doing. They remember getting the news, going and seeing the TV. First time they seen towers smoking. I was at work at a place where I ran a cherry picker. I remember I walked into I walked into the break room, man, and I see them talking. I seen it on the news. I was like the first one, and I started telling people, I'm like, this ain't right. Like, something's wrong. And man, you know how it all unfolded. Before long, the entire freaking, and thank you, Kenzo, The entire freaking warehouse was packed in a small itty bitty little break room, trying to look up at this one little TV, like sardines, like everybody, and just you could hear, a pin drop, like everybody dead silent, just if just fixed on that TV, and I was just like, man. I remember I stepped back out into the warehouse and like it was no one out there. I just thought to myself, I was like, dude, this is like something's not right with this. And I had this guy called Baba Tata. His name was Mohidlin. And the feds came. And they were like, where is he? I'm like, what do you mean? You're like, we want him. Connected to 9/11. What? Mo? He was from Morocco, I remember. And his name was Baba Tata because he walked funny when he was a kid. But he was so cool. He was a cool, loving, righteous individual, and he warned us beforehand. He says, man, these feds let a whole bunch of us in here on these work cards, and we got warned by one of our people that if an event happened, that we may be scapegoated. And I'm like, he said all these things, and then he vanished. Never saw him again. After they come looking, I don't know if they got him or not. They never should, but I don't know. I'll never see him again, man. And I always wondered about him. Like, what the? And then, of course, right at the gate, 9/11, it was terrorist. But now, after all these years, you all know how big of a, staged everything it was. And I always think back, like, damn, them dudes, they were even told, they were tipped off that they were going to be, like, snatched up as patsies or something. Man, nuts. But yeah, 9/11 woke me up. It was the moment of my life that made me say, hold on, Building 7 didn't even get hit. And then there was a documentary that came out. It was called Fahrenheit 9/11. That changed the game. Yeah, he probably did get sent to Gitmo or something crazy, man. I don't even think about it. It's nuts. But I fear, do you remember when 9/11 happened? Do you know what happened right after it? They put something out there called the Patriot Act, right? The Patriot Act. And it shaped everything. Our laws, all this stuff from there on out. And that's exactly what Greenwald and Tucker are discussing here. And I want to play these clips because I think it's important here. I think this is where we're going. I think there's about to be a huge event here. And again, this whole Iran war plays into the favor of the elites, right? Because energy lockdowns, okay? Than anything else that comes about, like what they're going to say right here. So this is like a 2-3-fold. It's a multifaceted type of event where this whole thing with Iran and Straits of Hormuz is benefiting them, and you can see this clearly in many different ways. And see, when you're an investigator, you want to find who benefits from these crimes. That's who's perpetrating it. And now we can clearly see what's happening here. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, same here, brother. The whole pool building 7, that was nuts. That will always hang with me. And even that news clip that they show all the time with that lady making the statements beforehand, I have watched that live. Like some of this repeated stuff that you see that they show back from back there. Some of this, of course, yeah, we watched them live. It's in my memory bank. I'll never forget what Trump and others said, though, about that day, where he said he was sitting with others in a high rise, with like front row seats, basically, watching it. Imagine that with Trump. All right, I'm going to play this clip here. And then I chime back in. Let me blow it up a little more. And start.
But it's just interesting that there's no criticism of the United States, our country, that is banned or even discouraged, only of a foreign country. Is that correct?
There are no bans on your ability to criticize the American government, American wars, the American founding. And that's what's remarkable. I was obviously vehemently opposed to the kind of tsunami of left-wing censorship that happened in our elite university. I was on your show many times to talk about why that was so dangerous. And I don't want to in any way justify it, but what I will say is, at the very least, the ostensible pretextual argument for why we needed censorship, like anti-Black speech or anti-trans speech, whatever, is because we were protecting marginalized American citizens who belonged to groups that were endangered. Totally false, totally dangerous, but at least they were trying to ostensibly protect American citizens in the United States. What's so remarkable about these new codes is they're only to protect Israel. Like, imagine you go in and you're a citizen of Australia and you wear a shirt criticizing or advocating for something with Israel and you get arrested in your own democratic country of Australia. It is bizarre, Tucker. There's no other laws that would be applicable to any other countries. It's only for this one country over and over and over.
Yeah. And it also sends a very unsettling message, because censorship, is always levied on behalf of the people in charge. Of course, the people with the power are the only ones who ever pass laws telling you can't criticize them. I mean, of course.
Right.
And so what does this tell? I mean, what is this? It's spooky. I've never been the guy who runs around saying Israel runs the United States. It's an overstatement, but I certainly don't want to think that. But like, if you can't criticize a foreign country, then that country's in charge, right? I mean, what other conclusion should I draw?
I can't really provide you with the cogent one.
I just opened a chest for my cats on D Live. Over there, I'm gonna play this one right here.
When things change is the moment at which, like, lots of Americans die. And that's why 9/11 was the most profound thing to happen in our lifetimes, because 3,000 Americans died on camera. And it was just like the worst thing still the worst thing I've ever seen. And I think every American felt that way. And so at that point, it gives the people in charge license to do things they would not be allowed to do, like create TSA or whatever, invade Iraq. And so are you concerned that, there could be attacks here in the United States, and like, what then?
I feel like there was already an attack in the United States, that Austin shooting, we haven't heard much about it, but it seemed pretty clearly linked to the Iran war. And if it goes on, I would be very, very surprised if there aren't others, which again, I think means that not only are we fighting a war for the benefit of citizens in another country, we're doing it by endangering the citizens of our own country for so many different reasons. And I do think if it gets to the point where, this really gets out of hand and you start to see mass casualty attacks in the United States, the history of the United States and other countries leaves no doubt that emergency measures will be instantly imposed, and those emergency measures don't go anywhere when there are emergencies. That was the history of the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act was this radical, extremist, un-American law that we needed supposedly in the wake of 9/11. They assured us, oh, don't worry, it's going to be temporary. Here we are, 2026. It's part of our woodwork, and nobody ever talks about it anymore. That's how quickly these things can get normalized.
Man, I hope you never go off the air, because I hope this isn't our last conversation. Glenn Greenwald, thank you.
I mean, key points there. Did I just see that right? Today's high in Yuma, Arizona was 108 degrees, 105 tomorrow. Like, insane. Weather warfare on a whole nother level right now, guys. Watch out there. All right, if you don't know, we have a security alert put out by the embassy in Rome for all Americans worldwide for terror attacks. So it's like, get ready. This could happen at any time. I really feel it's going to pick up and go to a whole new level. Much love, Pixie. I thought this was kind of ironic. Move on to this next one. New York's governor begs the wealthy to stop leaving the state. So it's California. Now it's New York en masse. And John Fetterman, he comes out and says that really they have no leader in the Democratic Party. He's basically saying that the whole Democratic Party is just ran by what he calls TDS, or what they call Trump derangement syndrome. It's just a hate for Trump that unites them. Basically, it's what he's saying, with no true leadership. But I think that just muddies the waters. It keeps it muddied right there, and it doesn't let people see, the deep state for what it is. They did a good job, working him into the whole fray. When he wasn't well accepted at first, people were kind of clowning him, but now they're using him all over the place. It's kind of a neutral kind of speaker. Yes, he's Democrat, but he leans Republican a little bit, as he says. I don't know. He's just another character out there to me. I don't know of any of them that I can say I trust that are doing anything to help us. I mean, I've got Thomas Massey and all those guys at Rand Paul on my state for years. These guys go up to bat for certain things, but in other things they don't. They get lobbied by Israel on the back burner and try. It just, I don't trust none of it. I don't trust none of them. I just don't. When they start getting threats and you can see that they're becoming a threat to the system, that's when they're being truthful. But none of them do that. Everybody wants to live cush. Everyone wants to live all cushy and don't want any threat. I don't know if you guys know about this Kent guy, but this Kent character basically says that this whole thing with the Charlie Kirk investigation, they got told to stop investigating it because what they were doing is they were finding that there were ties that led to out of the country. They were figuring it out, is what they were doing. They were figuring the whole thing out, and they were told to stop, basically. So this dude quit, and he's talking about it and saying it, all these things, and of course Trump will try to trash him, just like he'll try to trash Tucker or anyone else that doesn't go along with what they say. Here is, what is it? Government officials, they say it all. This one right here.
He was single-minded.
And he walked off and he went, I believe, into the Oval. So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he suddenly publicly assassinated, and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that. It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
What do you mean when you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that?
We've been told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate. And the FBI will say that they stopped that because they wanted to have turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Everything's going to trial. It's very, very sensitive. But there was still a lot for us to look into that I can't really get into. But there was still linkage for us to investigate that we needed to run down. And I'm not making any conclusions. I'm not saying
no, I don't think you are.
Because of this happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's unanswered questions. We know the pressure because of the text messages that have been made public that Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors. And again, we know Charlie was advocating to President Trump against this war with Iran. And we knew at the end of the 12-day war, at the end of Midnight Hammer, that the Israelis were going to come back and ask us to go back to war again.
Right.
So we have a lot of data points between Butler, the assassination attempts against President Trump, the breaches of his security, what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Can I just ask you to pause on the Charlie Kirk because it upsets me to hear what you're saying, to be reminded that he was murdered, but also to hear you confirm what was reported in the media several months ago, that your office had been blocked from investigating his murder. That does not make sense to me. I don't understand why you would ever turn down help in an investigation from a U.S. agency with a lot of experience in gathering intelligence on things. That's your job.
The FBI will say, and the DOJ will say that because it's an ongoing case, it's a Utah State case, that back off, they've got it. They've got a smoking case. They've got the fingerprints on the gun, and they've got the kid.
But the FBI was involved in the case.
The FBI was involved. The FBI's basically said that they're deferring to Utah because it's now a state case.
But they've established a precedent for federal investigation of this crime.
Yeah, and the National Counterterrorism Center's mandate is to investigate any foreign ties, to see if there's potentially any foreign ties. If we don't find any foreign ties, we back off. What I'm saying, without getting into too much detail, is there was more for us to investigate.
You believe there was reason to investigate foreign ties to Charlie Kirk's murder and were told by the FBI, DOJ?
FBI and DOJ, yeah.
No, you're not allowed to investigate that.
Stop. It's done. They basically cut off our access to be able to get into that information. And look, I didn't even say necessarily that I believe there's 100% foreign ties. There were data points that we needed to investigate. I mean, I think anybody who's even looked at any kind of police investigation, you get 100 leads, you run them down, and 99 don't mean anything. We still had a lot more leads to run down that pertained to.
See, now this is that's crazy. They had more leads to run down. They were told stop. They were tracking this and tracing this to out of the country, Mossad, and they were told to stop. Like, this is ridiculous. Every single time, this is what happens, man. So, we told you, or I told you, what I thought about the whole Charlie Kirk ritual. And the whole Erica Kirk thing, man, it makes it look like, I don't know, Mario, looking at that, like, it's not good. So let me put it that way with that, like, her ties. It was such a setup. Like, I don't know. These days, man, there's so much lies and stuff that go down. I just know that what my eyes saw was more ritualistic in nature than anything. And all the evidence points there as well. If you're in the UK, all my UK cats out there, we've got a teacher banned for saying that migrants should respect our laws or leave. Seems pretty normal a thing to say, but no, not in the UK, where they got to ass backwards now. If you want to say that, like, they're like, you can leave. Like, this is why you got to stand up, or we'll get to these points that you're seeing. It will be like that here in America. And you keep hearing the warning of free speech. The other countries, like even Piers Morgan was saying, like, he's like, America's got free speech because these other countries, they don't. Like, you can't just say whatever you want. You can't even meme, in Europe, certain places about certain things, or they're going to come a knocking. Like, you have to realize here in America, we do have that freedom of speech, there enshrined that we've got to protect. You've got to protect it, man. And Black Cat, D. White, for the glory of Christ. Rising X, much love to all you guys. And I opened a chest over there on D Live. Much love to you guys. If you want to support the channel for real, like, buy me a coffee, PayPal are the best ways to support it. But do not, if you think you're going to support me on D Live, do not give me lemons. I mean, if you're just going to throw them out because you got them, you want to load up the chest so I can, open it up, whatever, I get it. But, like, I don't have no cashing out or getting anything from D Live in that manner aspect because they're a joke. Okay, but the streaming platform works good. But in terms of that, if you guys missed it and forgot what they did to all of us a couple years ago, they held all the money on all kinds of streamers forever, like and all types of other stuff. It was fraudulent. It was fraudulent. Then I'm not wasting time on it. You get it. All right. Let me jump into what I believe is a fake Netanyahu. When you miss 15 military cabinet meetings, and then you miss the one meeting that only you can give and announce, which was today, and all the other videos, every one of them were AI, and they thought they were slick. They thought in the first one, or second or third one they put out, that they'd have him come out and raise his hands up like five fingers, and like, you guys are like, and people would just buy that and be like, oh yeah, it's got to be him. But they screwed up again. Rings were disappearing off of fingers. His head was all shaped like an egg, and all this stuff, ears sitting higher above his eyes where they shouldn't be. All this stuff, and we're not buying it. I've yet to see proof of life on Bibi Netanyahu. As far as I'm concerned, he's dead or he's in hiding. And I can't say definitive on either because I don't know. But the actions that I see out here on this world stage, he is not anywhere around. He is in deep underground hiding, fearing the assassination or someone's going to kill him at any moment. Or he's gone. Or third caveat is he's very heavily wounded. But the same thing, scared, and he's deep underground. It's one of the two. He's in deep hiding or he's dead. And they don't want to show this. They want to keep on trying to make moves. I don't know, man. Things are not going the way that they wanted. Let me tell you that. They never expected that parts of Israel would start looking like Gaza. And that's exactly what it's looking like. And the people are pissed. I'm going to go over to the feed, back to the feed here in just a second. We're going to look at a few things connected to all this and with Temple Mount. But Trump says, I think we won. What? He says, I think we won. We've wiped everything out. So everyone's like, all right, so it's over. He goes, no. He goes, there's going to be no ceasefire for now. Like, well, I thought you said we won. Yeah, but, when you're pounding them and obliterating them, you just don't stop. That's what he said. It's like, you just said you killed all the top leadership, dismantled all the nukes, dismantled all their radars, sunk every ship to the bottom of the ocean. You said you won. What else is it? What else are you possibly going to hit them besides innocent people? He can't seem to make his mind up. We've won. It's going to be over here soon. Few weeks, couple weeks. We're ahead of schedule. All this crap. And then, Trump considering deployment of thousands of U.S. ground troops. Our boys and girls are already coming home in a pine box, let me tell you. And you just wait till you know someone, till it affects, one of you, friend or family. This is ridiculous. I'm not for none of this. We should be protesting in the streets. Again, whenever anyone wants to just get up off that ass and do something, I'm there. You just tell me, email me. Something's got to happen here. Even if if you want something done locally, you're better off going and trying to talk to your senator, your governor, or whatever. And then if they don't want to, if they come to dodge you, that's when you start having little gatherings of people. Just put it that way. Outside the offices, catching them going in or out. Either way, just to have a little talk, peaceful talk. Because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be the representative of people. And if they can't give you the time of day, ever, then, dude, what is going on here? So Either they represent you and they're willing to talk to you, or they're fraudulent and they don't. And it's just a ploy, which is what it is most of the time. Very few will step out there and talk to the people. Trump considers winding down strikes. See, like, what is it? Mr. Flip-Flop, back and forth, winding down strikes, sending troops. Like, it's one or the other. Can't have both. But yet that's what they're putting out there. And we go to Russia. Russia says that they're offering to cut off intel sharing to Iran if the U.S. does the same with Ukraine. Dude, this is not how two enemies work. This is how two people that are playing the whole world work. Russia was really your mortal enemy and all this other crap and garbage. Like, if you want to try to play it out, you'd have did it. And done went up in there, Moscow would have been hit with a little mini nuke, done been over. They'd have done Gaddafi, Putin. But that's not what he is. He's one of them. I told you, a lot of people that don't know what happened with World War II, how it ended, they miss this. They miss that we weren't buddy with Russia at that point, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, at the end of World War II, Russia and the United States became allies. And it's what ended the war. Let me repeat that. It's what ended the war. Why? Because nobody on the planet can F with the U.S. and Russia when they're together. No one. Not China, no one. We proved that without a doubt. But guess what? For the powers to be, that don't work. For Rothschild, that don't work. They want war. And what the smart thing would be to do is, this is them talking now. Because they had a little meeting. They had a parade in Moscow after the war. Our president, Stalin, all right there. Stalin was driving American cars, like American stuff. Everything was good. They had a meeting. When they came out of it, they went in their own directions, and they acted like they were enemies. Well, that was a ploy. Because if you just simply just look back at this point and what they've done, it shows itself that they each make their own military product. They each sell it to different people around the world. And it only works if you wage war. This is where the war is a racket comes in. It's the truth. So, U.S. said, I'm going to go to this corner. Russia, you go to your corner. We're going to act like we hate each other. But we really don't. The whole time we're going to have a back channel like best friends. And we're going to play the whole world. And we're going to play the whole world with a war racket. And you're going to sell your weapons. I'm going to sell my weapons. And we're going to make off like kings. Do you see how that works? That's exactly what has happened the entire time. That's it. It's exactly what has happened this entire time. Wake up, smell the coffee. So you don't just make a request to a mortal enemy like this trying to kill you and work out a deal. That's not how it works. Okay? Just reach out to Trump, pick up the phone. Hey, just, quit doing this and quit doing that. No. You only do that if, like, they've shown us, like, they're working together. And Trump even said that as soon as the Ukraine war is over, huge things, huge deals with Russia are going to come about. So, looking through some of these here. I'm going to get down to my main feed. We're going to watch a couple really important things here. What's this one say? Russia is benefiting from the U.S.-Iran war, while impacts on China are complicated. Well, what did I just tell you? Things gone well for Russia? What? How? Well, I just told you. World's a stage. It's why they call them theaters of war. Wake up, man. It's all racket, man. They're all in on this. And this brings me to some of the last links I got here before I jump over to my feed. New York jumps to number 3 for U.S. alien abductions. That's right. Number 3 now. Add this to the mix. Since we're in the environment of disclosure here, NASA's Curiosity rover finds evidence of underground water on Mars. And look at this last few words. That is just ridiculously stupid. That could have supported life. Like, just shut up and get out of here. For decades, the word was, where you find water, there's life. Did everybody forget that? They found it on every other planet, moon, and freaking solar system and beyond at this point. And everyone just seemed to forget about that. We know something happened on Mars. Well, man, much love. Thank you for the super chat. Much love. God bless. Look at Thoth. Look at all the stories, ancient stories of the Red Planet. Since a big war went down. It's even got a scar on it where it looks like it got zapped by a laser and the whole atmosphere peeled off of it. All right? That's our neighbor planet there, Mars, right? You can see very well with the telescope from this planet. It's not flat. Yeah. It's not a dome, with an ice wall around it. Neither Saturn or anything else you can see out there. But it is what you see it to be. And it's a rock sitting there that has a history that apparently harbored life because Thoth said it did. And you can keep listening to these liars modern day, but back then, was Thoth thinking, I got a lie to Dabu 7 and all of them in 2026. Let me lie about this. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is the raw, real stories and how they were told, even all the way through down to Atlantis. Entities came from Mars, male dominant, warring, hostile cats, and they threw the energy off this whole planet shortly after Atlantis sank. That's what Thoth wrote. Okay, so yeah, was life there? Sure, there was. Looks like it. Sounds like it. And I don't even know if they got a robot up there or what, but I can't say none of that. But I know that the red planet's out there. I can see through my telescope. And again, I can see its round nature. I can see that it moves. I can see the moons go around it just as it said. For all these tarts out there that say it don't exist. I know we're lied to about all types of crap, but some stuff's very real. These cats that want to say the sun's local and all this. How's the sun local when it kicks off a CME? We'd be smart. How? How's it within the dome? But the energy's coming in, the CMEs are hitting the outside of the dome, causing the aurora. How? Like, it's none of it ever. Make it make sense, and then I'll listen. Okay? Don't just make something up wild and not have no proof. Like I say the moon's hollow. But does Dabu say that just because he thinks it? No, he don't. I say it because they proved to us that it's hollow. They hit it. And we listened. The whole world listened with instruments when we hit it. You could have too. And you can too in the future if they do this. It didn't thud. It rang like a bell. Okay, so that's from all kinds of different scientists around the world that took all this in. Again, just like you can pull out a telescope in your backyard and we can all lock in. Okay, same thing, same principle. When you can do something like that, they can't lie to you. Yeah, they can Project Blue Beam some stuff when you want to get to that tip. Kev Bar, come on, man. Hey, I'm glad I made you laugh tonight, man. You made me laugh. Been a rough day. In Lord, man, member of the underground. Much love, everybody, man. War is such a racket, isn't it? Again, I thank you guys. Look, I know we're lied to. I know a lot of things are deception, but I'm like on the tip of like, let's get a little bit of money up and let's go and like prove these things right or wrong. That's why I don't understand why like even someone with the slightest bit of money out there, a couple $100,000 sitting around, like can't do some of these things. Launch and get a flight up to as far as you can go up to Greenland land. Launch a weather balloon up there somewhere, with all kinds of cameras and stuff that so we can see what's going on. Like no one with money would do it. It's stupid. It's like ridiculous, man. We could answer a lot of this, or we could find some crazy stuff. Like what happens when you go to Greenland and you launch this and we're live and you see there's a huge hole in the ocean and there seems to be light coming out of it or something crazy. I'm just saying, like, Admiral Burt said there was. Said he went into it, you know? Hey, I'd like to go find out, man. These are the things that intrigue me. It's like if we're not going to wage revolution, then that's where I'm going with it. If I ain't going to die here in that route, then I'll die like Indiana Jones out here somewhere or something. Like, F it. And screw it. Like, if you knew, like, I don't know. Taking an aircraft up there and all that's a little different. They can down it, they can do all the stuff. But if you launch a weather balloon live with cameras, they're going to shoot it down. We should see it if we got all the cameras on there. We should see it getting shot down. We should see something getting shot. We should see all of it. Even if there's little green men up there. I'm kidding, of course. You don't have to look up there. They're here. They're down here. They're below you. They're all over the place. I believe. Fallen. This brings me to the final thing here of the government, and I was going to say this in the last stream, but we ran out of time. We had everything going on. They registered aliens.gov. Boy, it's looking pretty good. Like, Trump's going to be giving that speech for sure during his little tenure as president, if not this year. But I think first off, they want to kick out. I'm going to say first thing, Spielberg's movie's going to drop. It seems to be the next card to be played. They did Disclosure Project last year, all year. They went in front of our Congress, showed them shooting a freaking UFO with a rocket. If you missed it, you're way behind. They showed this. They came out in our Congress that life is here, the ships are here, everything is here. On film in front of our Congress, in case you've been living under a rock. Again, and yes, I said that right. They shot a UAP with a Hellfire missile and blew it into 3 pieces, and it all stayed flying together. And it's on freaking video. Again, if you've been living under a rock, some people will stay oblivious, turn cheek to this stuff, or like, I don't know what they do, but this is happening. And I've said it over and over again. It's time. Trump's got a speech. Laura Trump came out, and of course it was scripted this way for her to tell the masses this, that Trump has a speech he's going to give to everybody about aliens. Yeah, all that was meant to be said and dropped and put out there, just like aliens.gov was meant to get attention right now. And then comes Spielberg's movie. And I'm going to tell you, I got a weird feeling that he's going to be giving away something in it. It's a very bad feeling. He's programming. people with something in this. Because already from the trailers that I've seen, it looks messed up. But he's going to be already putting a thought into your mind, a preconditioned thought of these things. Then you don't think that that's not important to this government? At a time of disclosure, of course it is. A master mason like him at the top, of course. All of this is strategic as it gets. So every little detail, everything that they put in this movie plays big into the real deal. Them shape-shifting, looking like us, blending in with us. The terrors. They're here. They've always been here. This is a crazy moment when all the people of this planet, think about it, when even you walk into the laundromat, walk into the grocery store, this is the next day after on TV you seen an alien for the first time. They showed the whole world. You seen it shift right in front of your face. Maybe you didn't even see it shift. Maybe you just seen a life form. You see it standing there, breathing, moving. And people are going to freak out because they're going to freak out, in my opinion, over what they really look like, because it's not going to be pleasant. Nordics, different breeds, different lives, those are different. That look more like us, more human. But that's not what we're dealing with here. The guys, the Dracos, and all those that are here are reptilian in nature. And they look humanoid. They're humanoid. They're humanoid. There's a really good one that was share an image of a reptoid type dude. Best way that I could just describe it is like he looked like he looked like a brother with scales. Is what he looked like in green. But he looked like human in many accounts, with his chest, his nose, everything on him. His eyes were slit. And I don't know how they're doing it. If they're doing it, I'm gonna say it's technological. That's what I've heard. They've got a device that helps. It's a technology that helps them cloak. It's not like a chameleon, so to speak. In a way, it is, but it's basically a belt or a device that helps them look just like us. So again, I'm gonna tell you this: it's all about frequency. So if you can make a doorknob match the frequency of an orange, the doorknob will be an orange. If you can do that. Do you see? They know this. I know this. You know, it's common knowledge. If we little humans know this, we're talking about an intelligent species here. It's the one thing that they seem to have on us. I'm not going to say all in all capability, because who knows what all powers man can do. We're lied to. Jesus said we go on to do greater things than he. You've got all these abilities they never even taught you how to do, from telekinesis to moving objects to doing all types of stuff, but you've never been taught it. So I would love to see what a full-scale Jedi, like human, has all the power in him, can do to any of them. I want to remind you that when God made man, he made Adam out of clay, and he sat him out in front of these species. Intelligently superior species. One of them was Lucifer, and they rejected us. They kicked him. How do you think the Most High felt at that point? You make some creations, and then you make a prime creation, which is us, and you set it out to dry, made of clay. And they get pissed. They kick it. And they're like, and you tell them, You're going to worship this. You're going to bow down because I made this in my image. And this is going to be the righteous one. This is going to be one that actually fulfills it. Lucifer says, no, kicks it. That's told in Genesis B. But what do you know about that? What do you know about Jubilees, the Book of Giants, Enoch, Testament of Solomon? You better catch up on all of them. And if you don't like to read, you have no excuse. Pull it up in a video on YouTube and hit play on an audiobook, and it will read it for you. You can sit there and you can lay, and you can every night you can take in this knowledge. There's no excuse anymore not to have it, besides laziness. It's there. And I say you get it now while the getting is good, because I feel here in the future, you're not going to be able to access information like this anymore. They're going to stop it. It's a problem. We're learning too much. You understand? We're learning too much about the enemy to this technology. And you're going to have to be ID'd biometrically. We already know it. Just to get onto the internet, you're going to have to sign in to have an ID. You're not going to have access into this world. So you know what that means. There's going to be an event. There has to be. Because there's going to be a different life on the other side of that event. So something's coming. We all know it. What timing, though, right? What timing with everything going on in Israel, with war, with them trying to say this, that Nissan 1 here just passed. They didn't come out like they said in that video, and they did not announce the Mashiach for them. They did not do that on Thursday on Nissan 1 like they said. They said it will happen on Nissan 1. Well, if it didn't just happen, then you got to wait till next Nissan 1. Do you understand? It's one or the other. Rabbis taught them all that their Mashiach, their Messiah, because they don't believe in Jesus, will return on Nissan 1. Okay? That's what the rabbi said in the freaking video clip. Unless they want to go changing like it's all lies like they always do. Remember, this is the same people that lied to us. That said that they did not sacrifice the heifer, and they did. They said, oh, it was a mock, it's a mock. And then they did the real deal, and they came out and they were like, you guys are idiots. Spitting on us. You guys are idiots. You're fools. We did the real deal. They did this. I played it. I played it right here. They came out and said it on video, all arrogantly. Like, you people are stupid. Like, we have all right to lie to you. We're allowed to. It's like, dude, I'm sick of you people. If Christians try to go to Israel, and just be honest, do you know what happens? Go ahead, admit it. You get spit on, called a dog, slapped, get hands put on you. That sound like a friend? Huh? BB on record saying we'll bleed America and suck it dry like a dog. The dog it is. They don't care about us. Anybody know the religion out there that calls for killing other people's children? That says that Jesus is boiling in hot crap in hell right now? Anybody know that one? Anybody know that? The one with all that hate speech? Huh? And you want to say anything about our religion? See, they're scared. They're scared of the day all the ants rise. Of course, we've been out here trying to get the ants to rise the whole time. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but maybe one day it does. Where was it? It was one of those smaller, was it Malaysia? It was one of those crazy small countries here this past year. They went buck. Burma or something, all the youth went crazy, started storming the buildings, the government buildings, setting it on fire, shooting people, going nuts. Like the youth had it. They shut down their internet is what they did. So they lost it. You ever shut down the internet on kids? How quick to come out the room? Anything else? They did this to a whole country, and they actually fought back. They actually fought. Maybe that's the key. Did you just tell me the key? Oh, but it was heavily unorganized, wasn't it, though? You see, this will be the same. This will be the same, unfortunately. God, we're screwed. I don't want to do anything. Like, we got this pegged. We know what's going to happen. We always do, but then everybody just sits there. It's like, you can't sit there for this one. Like, that's good. Let's go to the feed, man. Oh. All right. First off, I've come to chew bubblegum and proclaim Christ as King. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Now, let's touch on. So we hit. All right, let's go over Temple Mount, Al-Aqsa Mosque. This is key. I'm gonna play this clip, and this guy's gonna listen to what he says here about what's gonna go down here. And like, let me first, before I show you that, let me show you that Temple Mount got hit with exactly what I told you. I don't think I'm gonna be able to back up far enough for the original one. I'm trying though. Oh, there's Fox News merging the Israeli and American flag, blending them. Me going off on Elon. There's all those people at the airport I was telling you about. This lady pointing it all out. That's not what I'm looking for here. The dam failure. All right, I'm getting close here. Stock market wiped out. G2 magnetic storm today. Missed that. Ground troops. There it is. Boom. Now, I'm not going to scroll all the way back to my post before this, but I said, like yesterday or the day before, I showed the Temple Mount, and I was like, who's going to be watching this live when they hit it? Like, that was yesterday. I swear to you, it was like yesterday or the day before. You're looking at it. Boom. Within 400 yards of hitting the main site. Right there it was. As close as it's been yet. Any moment, it can happen. Temple Mount, wiped. Dome of the Rock, wiped. Right? And as everyone's saying, they believe it's going to be a false flag. And what this is going to do is ignite a massive war. Let me tell you, we have called for this the entire time. Like, it's so nuts to see all these things we've just called time and time again, like just all coming unraveled. I mean, to me, this whole time, it's just been obvious. I don't know what else to say. It's not like we had some crystal ball. It just seemed to be the obvious thing every time. And a majority of the pack turn a cheek. That's the main thing. We got the kahunas to stare down the real problem all the time and accept it, even before it happens, while other people are just turn a cheek. Can't turn a cheek to what you're seeing here. These are Israelis fleeing. This person says, they are fleeing the destruction at the airport and hopping onto boats en masse. He says, unlike the Iranians who fight and die for their land, these parasites are looking for another host. Is what that says. What's the next one say? A new international group called the Earthquake Faction burns an Israeli weapons factory in the Czech Republic. So people are like, not in my country. Like, even if people sold us out, guess what? We're breaking in. We're dousing the place with gasoline. We're torching it. And we're going to show the whole world we did it. Earthquake Faction. Taking down Mossad operations. They're out of the Czech Republic. My first question is like, you guys worldwide? Like what's going on here? Like, I'm telling you what. crazy things going down. It's crazy days and times anyway, right? Like, they're out there trying to pass off AI videos of BB. So it brings me to this with Temple Mount. I'm going to let this guy explain this. So listen up to this, and then I'll give some thoughts and some final deep thoughts on all this and where this is going from here, because it's we're in a crazy time. Meaningless. Much love. Thank you for the coffees, everybody tonight. Thank you for the love and the support. I appreciate it more than you know. Some of you out there, I so wish. I don't care if it's conference or not. I don't care what it is. If I just, like, some of you, I've got to meet in this life before it's done. So I'm going to play this clip here. Here we go.
Components of this plan, but the basic components are: one is the creation of the nation state of Israel, which happened in 1948. And then you need to have the building of the third temple, which requires the destruction of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is actually which could happen during this war, given what we've seen so far. So the Israelis have closed off the Al-Aqsa Mosque, as well as other religious sites like the Church of Holy Sepulchre, to tourists these past few days.
Well, I don't know why it doesn't want to play here, but I'll sum it up for you. This guy, and this is over on my X page, okay? If you want to go and see the whole thing, he basically is saying that Israel or Mossad are going to hit and wipe it out, and they're going to blame it on Iran, and it's going to ignite a massive holy war, and they're going to get to build the third temple. We've never been in a time like this where, I mean, that clip is pretty, it's an ominous clip. The clip that I showed you of Temple Mount getting hit. I mean, a day after me saying all that, I don't know. It's wild. The fact that it hit that close. It's like, they didn't mean, I mean, were they aiming for at that time and they just missed? Or what were they aiming for anyway? When it come down that close, just in an odd spot right off the side of the road, boom, and it was a massive one. If it would have hit the dome of the rock, it would have, yeah, that would have done it then. And, you know, Israel would not allow, once that happened, they would not allow any Muslims up there to do anything, to grab pieces of the dome. They'd be shooting them. They would shoot them down. I'm telling you, they would not even let them recover anything. They won't do anything. They will seize this moment. They will fight this. They will fight right here on Temple Mount till the death. I'm telling you. They will. They will not stop. This is everything they all wouldn't believe in. Are you kidding me? In the moment that this goes down, look, let me remind you of this. The Bible says Israel is going to get wiped off the map. I would get the hell out of there. You call it the Holy Land and this, that, and rightfully so. It has all the holy connections. But God said himself, Jesus said himself, it's going to be wiped. Not one stone left unturned. So what are you doing there if you're a believer? Why would you be there? Sounds like somebody's going to come down as soon as they built this third temple and wipe it off the map. I can't wait. That's why I got to take it into this bitch. Okay? For the end game. Okay? And here we go. It's really looking like it. I'm ready. I'm ready for action. Let's get it on with. Like, what are we waiting for? Like, let's go. Like, my Lord says he will touch down in Israel in a place called the Mount of Olives. And it is prophesied that when the King of Kings does this, The Mount of Olives will split in two. Just go split open your Bible and read it, and you'll see this. The Mount of Olives will split in two when he touches down, and the world will feel the greatest earthquake it has ever felt. The strongest earthquake in history happens when the Lord touches down. This is what's to come in judgment. The gathering of everything. The separation of the wheat and the tare. The separation of the wheat and the tare. This is going to be good, dude. This is going to be good. Like, we're so close. Like, at this point, it's like, okay. It's just, I'm ready. Like, if you're going to do this, let's do this. Like, it's prophesized. Let's bring it. If you guys are going to build that temple and it's got to get wiped out and, like, all this has to happen before, my man touches down. A lot of people say, well, there's different things that need to happen out of the Bible that haven't. You're dealing with people that believe in trying to hasten certain things and usher in certain events to bring the end time. Okay? And Israel themselves, they are prepared. They are going to gather troops in the open fields below Mount Megiddo. And do you know what that is? Mount Megiddo is Armageddon. Mount Megiddo. Justin E. Sterling, man. Don't usually do this, but I appreciate you. Hey, man. I appreciate you. To the fullest, bro. To the fullest. Thank you for the super chat, for the love. Again, man, if I had it my way, this weekend, we could all connect, and it would be life-changing. You got to be a part of something. Look at this. I got to point this out. This is off my feed. I have crazy stuff over here. Look at that samurai sword. No human that you know was toting that samurai sword. But a giant. Definitely was. Goes right along with all the other major massive swords that we've seen that not even a human can even pick up. What was wielding it? Yeah, a giant. For sure. Dear Lord God, let me find a giant before it's all said and done. And look at here. Ukraine orders children evacuated without parents' consent. Are you kidding me? This is coming from the same country that kidnaps grown men off their bicycles in their front yards to send them to the front line to get mauled. Same pieces of... Ugh. Normally I hit the button on my mic when I got to mute and I mute a cuss word, but like I'm like literally self-muting. Fry Guy, all my cats out there, again, that were dropping information on the X feed. There's a whole system over here that they have going on in terms of the kids. That's going to be down lower here. We scroll down. We predicted that like 2 decades ago. You're right. Yeah, we've predicted a lot of this that's come to life. It's crazy. Damn. Hey, so I had a lot of notifications up here on top. Trying to find one from Fry Guy here real quick. He dropped a good one here earlier, and it defined a little bit of closing information I wanted to leave you guys with here. As Sue says here, we're not dropping the Epstein thing. Never. It's not happening. Much love, Blood of the Brave. Out there fighting the fight all the time as well. The Rabbis, Donald Trump, and the Third Temple. Oh, that probably looks like a good book. I bet you that thing's selling. I bet you that book is selling right now. Thank you, Mr. Popper. Much love. And I'm getting close now. Hang in there with me. I thank you guys for all your little comments and gifts. Here it is. Ukraine and Israel are the top 2 countries in the world that has the most human trafficking incidents. Leon Black, one of Epstein's cohorts, has a modeling school based out of Ukraine. Dude. This place is so full of evil, man. So full of evil. So, let me get some final thoughts here, and we'll look at the chat here. I want to thank all the cats that have tuned in here tonight. We're 2.5 hours in exactly. I guess I'll wind it down right now for the shutdown. All the cats over on D Live, much love. Looks like I'll try back over there again. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with restream here. It messed up the mic tonight. It kicked us off the stream last night, or the other stream 2 nights ago. And I'm paying for this kind of crap service. It's like, what is going on? I'm going to try to reset everything, get the mic back working, all that good stuff. Man, I so want to drop new music on you right now. Like, so bad. That because it's fighting the fight. You guys know that I make music, and I make it to fight the fight, man. Like, it's calling out all the stuff. It's war. I got a song coming like, you better get ready for war. With Crown Jewels right there in the chat. And I'm telling you, it's the hardest song I've ever made. I got another good song, and I like a lot of the music I make, you know, but this is the hardest. And it's made for the warriors out there that want to ride. It's made for them. And it may take a minute because I'm working on trying to get music videos put together for these, because I want them to mean something. I put out a lot of music, sometimes singles. If I don't make a video, people don't know it exists. So if I make a little video for it and put it out there, it at least is on YouTube to be found. And I will also upload them to D Live, because D Live, if you don't know, has music videos that you're not going to find anywhere else. I actually have a couple music videos. One's called 2 Seconds. A really good song we did. And you'll only find it on D Live because it got removed off of YouTube. And in it, it shows us rounding up all the bad guys and Bill Gates and doing them gangster style. And yeah, all of them will be over here. I'm gonna make sure of that. All of our videos, music videos, will end up getting popped out over here. But I don't have videos for all the songs. You can look me up though, Dabu7, on any major song streaming platform, Spotify, you name it, all the big ones out there, and you'll find me. Just Dabu7, man. You'll find me with Crown Jewels, me with Hoodie Ross, and us doing our thing, man. I'm gonna open up. Actually, let me load up. Cannot donate to. How did I do that last time? I'm having trouble. Oh, I gotta go up here and put it in custom. Okay. Just added some 500 to the chest there. And I'm busting it open for my cats on D Live. I know on YouTube you guys are like, what is he talking about? this chest over there that I can open at the end that gives rewards and stuff out. And thank you everybody tonight for all the love, super chats, prayers. Listen to me, man. Jesus is my grace. That is so true, but that is also the name of the person that just dropped a super chat. I love the name. I mean, some of you guys got the best names out there. You ask, do you think when money reset happens, like what's your predicted time for it? This year, next year, X? And do you think it'll be before or after the rapture? Well, I don't know about the whole timing with anything with that to do with that in terms of rapture, but in terms of reset, we have a pretty good inkling that, well, we know for a fact the Mar-a-Lago Accord will be rolled out under this new guy that replaces Powell. That will happen in May, and the whole Mar-a-Lago Accord is dealing with the reset of our whole economic situation. So very well could be this year for sure, if not going into next year. I mean, you don't have much time after that. Only at least 2028 in the end on Trump's watch. Whatever doesn't happen by 2028 is going to happen by then, is how I feel. Especially the things that we know he's meant to do, like alien disclosure. He's going to give the speech. He's not going to let no one else claim that. He's egotistical, and you know it. He wants all these accolades. Some of these things are going to happen on his watch no matter what. He wants the reset. Even though at first it's going to look like a bad thing, I'm going to tell you that they're going to have to make it look like a good thing on the other side. It's the only way it's going to work. It's the only way you're going to get the whole masses to fall into the trap and to go along with it. I don't know, reset it and tell everybody, we forgive you of your debt if you come onto the new system. Then it's over. Then it's over. That easy. They did it before in history. And again, it don't always repeat, but it rhymes. Clip that one there, Crown Jewels. Throw it in a song. History don't always repeat, but it rhymes. See, the real riders make it through these hard times, end times. Hey, man, I love all you guys. I appreciate the prayers. As I was saying before, prayers are key. And I ain't trying to sound corny, mushy, or anything like that, but it's everything. When two or more people come together in prayer, there's a power to it, and you've been missing it. People are missing it. It's a real thing. Just like speaking things into existence are a real thing. What are you doing when you're praying? You're speaking. And when you have multiple people doing, you're amplifying it. This works. So thank you, those that actually do it. Can't stand the hypocrites and say, "Oh, keep you in my prayers." Like, don't even take the second to do it. They're all over the place, everywhere. Don't be one of them. Take the time to say the prayer. And those that do, I love you. Love all of you. Much love. As I always say, so wind it down here. If the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. But be ready for all this, man. Be ready for the disclosure. Be ready for Temple Mount to get rocked. Be ready for energy lockdowns. Be ready for these things, man, because this is what's sitting in front of us. Say it out loud. Jesus Christ lives through me. I am. Much love to all. And I gotta give a shout out here to the legendary Eon. Much love. Always coming through with them coffees, man. Even when no one else does. And the OG Plank. Thank you so much, Ken. Much love. Keep it trucking. Stay safe. Much love. God bless all y'all.